Tapping Colorado's rich renewable resources, bolstering our economic opportunities, and preserving our environment. How do we best meet these objectives? Governor Bill Ritter's plan for a new energy economy includes ideas for expanding our high-voltage transmission infrastructure to connect Colorado's renewable resources to the market as one answer. We describe how this can be accomplished in the READY Report, Renewable Energy Development Infrastructure. Governor Bill Ritter's Energy Office is pleased to present our ideas to you now.
In the state of Colorado, people have a different relationship with the land, with air, with water, with wildlife. It's such a meaningful part of our heritage, and we have over time been able to link that notion about what a great place this is, what a magnificent place it is, with energy consumption.
Yet despite Coloradans' stewardship of our state, Colorado's electric energy consumption continues to increase year after year. This level of electric power consumption will require continuous commitment to conservation and energy efficiency, clean electric power generation, and high voltage transmission. And with the projected rate of population growth in the state, deciding our future electric power mix represents a significant challenge.
We're at our peril unless there's a transformation in how we think about both energy consumption and energy production.
How we produce and use energy is going through a dramatic transformation, and that is largely driven by dealing with environmental issues associated with energy and energy security.
Governor Ritter published a climate change plan in 2007, and it's my job to make sure that we can achieve the goals set out in that plan. And those are specifically to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 20% from 2005 levels by the year 2020.
Of the carbon dioxide emissions in Colorado, 36% comes from electric power. At the rate Colorado is producing electric energy, we would have emitted 55 million metric tons of carbon dioxide by 2020. In recent years, Colorado has been addressing this electric power growth. But even with a change in policy, there remains a gap between where we are heading and where we want to be. In order to fill this gap, we need to make decisions about our future energy mix.
Part of the answer to changing how we produce and consume has to do with renewable energy.
On the surface, the term renewable energy is easy enough to understand, but the definition goes far beyond simply a supply that comes from a renewable source. There is so much more.
The beauty of renewable energy is that it does not utilize resources the way that non-renewables do. So you're not depending upon a fuel that is just going to be ultimately depleted.
Any discussion about renewable energy often begins with its positive environmental impact. But in addition to reducing greenhouse emissions and other environmental benefits, experts recognize renewable energy has many other vital benefits.
Climate change itself presents a national security risk because as the climate changes and crops fail or there's water shortages, then that causes social instability, which causes political instability, which leads to often to military conflict. So we benefit in terms of national security.
It also is very significant that wind farms do not use water. And a lot of the other forms of electricity generation use water. And here in the West, and particularly in Colorado, water is very precious for a lot of the other uses that we have.
There's one benefit of renewable energy that over the past few years has gotten the attention of the people, the business community, and the leaders of Colorado.
We're creating jobs. And they're good jobs. They're 21st century jobs. They're sustainable, which means that they can last over time. They're not an industry that will boom and bust. And those jobs and that job creation has all of these indirect benefits and what we call a multiplier effect, where other jobs are created as a result of it as well.
We now have over 200 employees. By the end of next year, we should be 400 to 500 employees. And then we're creating other jobs or enabling the creation of other jobs.
We use cement contractors, we use fencing contractors, some of the things you don't necessarily associate with a solar project. Those are all local folks that we use.
Vestas is investing over $1 billion in manufacturing facilities in Colorado. 2 blade facilities, one in Windsor, one in Brighton, a nacelle factory in Brighton, and a tower factory in Pueblo.
When you talk about the economy, the base of it is employment. And we are seeing a growing employment base in new energy.
Over a 10-year period, Vestas will generate about $1.2 billion in sales.
Currently, with Vestas Blades America coming to Brighton, it's a minimum of 1,500 jobs.
Initially, we're going to have around $240 million in construction, which includes land, labor, and equipment. And that'll generate an additional 250 construction jobs, which, of course, you have some ancillary support, which is another 150 or so.
And Vestas tells us for every job they create within their plants, they'll create up to 2 jobs outside.
The biggest thing is the economic impact it's going to bring to the community. About $266 million in wages just for the construction or the employment of the Vestas employees. Sales tax revenues for the city, we're looking at around $9.7 million over 10 years. The state, about 7.8, 7.9, and the county about 3 million. And then over long term, property tax revenue for all the taxing districts within the county of Pueblo, about $47 million.
It's win-win-win-win because there's a lot of people that are going to get benefits out. Not only is it good for us on helping keep electricity rates reasonable, at the same time wind development in rural areas helps add to the tax base there, and that helps not only the local governments, but it also helps the other private taxpayers, and that there's another entity in the community.
The county gets about very close to $900,000 a year in taxes, and from that the hospital district gets about $280,000, and the school district comes up with close to $200,000.
Today, the renewable energy industry is thriving in Colorado, and there's more than a few reasons why.
Colorado has a number of things going for it in renewable energy. The first, and what's obvious to most people who live here, is the abundant resources that we have.
Whether you're looking at sun, solar energy, or wind, biofuel potential, even geothermal, Colorado is in the top 10 in the nation in terms of those natural resources.
Colorado is one of the ideal states because you're getting 300 days a year sunshine. And because of the altitude, 1 mile higher than the sea level, actually the sunshine intensity is higher. So this is an ideal state.
We also have probably the best research nucleus in renewable energy of any place in the world.
We have the 3 research universities, CU, CSU, and Mines, along with this laboratory's expertise, is perhaps unparalleled in the country.
They've invested in technology that is now, we're seeing the fruits of that investment out today. And many developers and manufacturers are coming to the state of Colorado.
Ideas come out of the academic world, you transfer them into the commercial world, you wind up creating jobs.
One of the real success stories for the state of Colorado is based on a partnership that we began many years ago with what is now known as Abound Solar.
We had this ecosystem with the university, with the national labs, and then you layer on top of that this strong support from the state government to push not only an end market, but also to support the infrastructure that's necessary.
And one of the things that has really drawn the attention of renewable energy companies to Colorado is the commitment that our policy leaders have towards advancing the renewable energy industry and the importance that it plays in Colorado's future.
The governor, on day one, Governor Ritter, put up a "We're open for business" sign and has attracted some of the very renewable energy companies that NREL has long collaborated with to advance the technology.